Yeah, I mean, as Jukies comes out and says there, it was about time. However, they do indeed deliver that massive map for us in 5, and it all comes from the rotation. Jukies might have been so locked in that he wasn't sure, but he gets to the top of pass so early, and as teams are coming up from the bottom of village, it's a disgusting rotation that you have to try and make it through this layered, stacked, tiered area, and Jukies and Vision are just raining hellfire on any team that tries to get past them, gatekeeping, picking up the big kills, and then go massive at the end to seal the deal.
Seal the deal, indeed they did, but Dandra, going to you, Diazbiffle was in first, as we talked about. I think they still are potentially, even though they don't get the victory this game, they were doing a tremendous job staying alive, and honestly their positioning, even sometimes out in the open, they were still picking up elims where teams probably wouldn't.
Dog, I don't know how they were able to hold this side of the mountain for so long. I'm just like, what? They're holding all of these teams pushing on in. They're just looking down. They're picking up all these free kills, but they have like 2/3 of the circle at their back, and nobody is looking down and shooting at them. But what was more impressive to me was their ability to get away from this positioning you see on your screen right now and be able to kind of make their way up the hill and be able to come out and find just even more eliminations on their way up. I was saying it's going to be a little bit hairy for some of these other squads because even if they're not getting a lot of eliminations, they are still making it deep in the placements.
He said making their way up the hill, perfect transition into Hisoka, and their team staying alive as long as they did, Dream.
Yeah, which was crazy, right? Because essentially in Akhtar village, where Aydan's team was, where Hisoka's team was, they were, like as mentioned, they had to rotate to pass. Yeah. So that elevation going from village to pass, like Mayapo, how long he was able to stay alive was so impressive because he was able to push that to a 6th place. Yes, he did not get the multiplier, the 1.8, but from where they were at in the recovery, even from seeing that Hisoka gulag, they were like, dude, who put down their controller, bro? Because that was insane.
I mean, listen, I think this is actually really reminiscent of TBE, to be honest with you. That's how they've been able to secure a lot of tournaments in the past, right? It's just they just rack up a lot of kills. And sure, maybe they're not winning, maybe they're not getting up to that high, kind of placement, but they just get there with a lot of eliminations. They take advantage of that multiple.
Absolutely, and Rocky getting 2nd place. Let's give them their flowers because that's the first time we've seen them truly make it up the leaderboard, Enigma.
Yeah, it is, and seeing them get involved in this later stage is great. We've spoken about how they have a massive fan base here in the crowd. We've seen the squad out there, and to be honest, yeah, it hasn't been the best afternoon for us generally in Europe. So to see a 1st and 2nd place for us is indeed going to be a great thing. Hopefully we see that again in map 6.
Might I just say though, the fact that they were able to knock Jukies down right there and he had that self-rest, like that was the saving grace, because that could have been a completely different winner.
Completely different. 27 eliminations for Jukies and his crew. That is a massive game.